Hi, everyone. It's Roland Kim with the Kim Boona team, licensed with Keller Williams Realty Van Central out of Vancouver. Today is the end of July, July 31st. I wanted to give you a market update of what's happening right now out in the marketplace. So, all right, let's talk about what happened in June of this year. So we finished June last month, just short of 2,900 or 3,000 transactions, actually, just short of 3,000, which was a 21% increase over the same month last year. As of right now, we're trending for about 80 transactions a day. We're estimating that we'll finish July around 2,400, maybe as close as 2,500 transactions. So certainly lower than last month in June. However, a 31% increase from July of last year, where we saw less than 1,900 transactions. What we're seeing is a pretty balanced marketplace right now. Steady sales, but off the highs of earlier in Q1. Nationally, we also get to see all the different provinces in Canada here. This is for the month of June. BC, Alberta had price year-over-year increases, as did Ontario. Some other provinces such as Quebec, Manitoba, Saskatchewan did see a price decrease. The average home in Canada the average home sales in Canada for June increased 4.7%. So June of this year, last month, there was just over 50,000 transactions compared to 47,923 in June of 2022. When we're looking locally to our province, so BC, this graph shows you the sales volume provincially. So we get to see that we're certainly on an uptick since Q4 of last year and early Q1 of this year. That being said, our active listings are also picking up a little bit, but still, well off our all-time highs in the 2012-2013 year, and off the all-time lows in mid-early 2022. So we're getting more inventory into the marketplace, is what I would say that we're seeing. This is illustrating to you that we are in a seller's market for the province of BC. However, we're not far off what we would consider locally as a balanced market. So pretty steady appetite of buyers, while there's a pretty steady number of listings, which is putting us slightly into a seller's market, but much closer to a balanced market than we typically see. The average price in BC is $992,000. This again is June. Last month average price. It did come down from the month before, where we're just over $1 million. Now keep in mind, we're about 10% lower right now on our average price in the province than we were at our all-time high, which was April of last year. April of last year, we were 10% higher. Then it dropped 20% to the end of last year. And since the beginning of 2023, since January, we have gained back 10%. So we are pretty, again, balanced, pretty steady. When we're looking at the different regional boards in our province, you can see the Greater Vancouver area for the month of June had, again, reiterating that we were about 21% higher in transactional volume versus the same month last year. And our year-over-year price did increase 4.6% as well for June in the Greater Vancouver area. Active listings, we are down in Vancouver 8% in June. And so we are starting to see that in July. Of course, a lot of these stats are 1 month behind. I can tell you personally from owning and managing a brokerage that I'm seeing more listings come onto the market. And so that is a good thing. We're starting to see a bit more inventory of supply. Bank of Canada did raise its overnight rate 25 basis points earlier this month to 5%. And yeah, that's a pretty steady interest rate, pretty high. I think it's the highest in 22 years. And hopefully we are not going up any higher from there in the September meeting of Bank of Canada. What we are seeing is that the inflation did come down substantially. It was a really strong decrease over the last meeting. And we're hoping that when the Bank of Canada meets in September, that we have no further need to raise interest rates, because it's definitely making an impact. I'm noticing that buyers are buying less home, but they are buying still if they are able to and need to, because they have a housing shortage of some type. And I'm certainly also noticing investors who are deciding to move away from owning investment property because the numbers do not make sense for what their goals and objectives are. So all that being said, we often find that it's 9 to 12 months after the interest rate is done that the final impact of that is seen. That being said, certainly hope that we aren't seeing further interest rates, as I really believe the market is leveling and inflation will continue to go in a downwards trend. So what does this all mean? It means that we have really good activity levels in Vancouver. We're, slightly in a seller's market, but I really would call this typically a balanced market. Interest rates are high. Inflation is coming down. Unemployment continues to be very low in the province and nationally. And we have a large immigration target and goal for the province, for the region, and for the country. That in combination with land limitations and scarcity of building continue to put that macro pressure on the Vancouver marketplace. And so for that reason, although interest rates are very high, I see nothing but certainly sideways and slightly uptick in the demand and pricing for Vancouver real estate in the months and years ahead based on what I can see today. If you have any specific questions, please reach out to me. Again, Vancouver and real estate is local, and based on what your needs and wants and details are, we can give you great advice. Reach out to me or any other member of the Kimbuna team.